Nan's pretty much my guardian, and she's currently my mum and my dad because she's just the greatest grandmother, the greatest person that I've been gifted with, and she's been my motivator. She's been my idol, and I just want to make her proud because of everything that she's done for me, everything that she's done for herself and for her people. And I just feel like I have something to live up to, and I want to be better for her and myself and for our people. Good memory growing up, just sort of every day that I was over on Palm Island with family, running around and being little Indigenous kids on the beach, throwing rocks at each other, getting in trouble, just causing family grief. And just that island life, being home, no stress about the city and all of that sort of thing. You could just sort of be one with your mob and your land and that sort of thing. Primary school at a school called Munningborough and Belgian Gardens. I then did 2 years in Townsville at Ignatius Park College, 8 and 9. I then moved to Weipa in grade 10, which was the year I ended up applying for CYLP and jumped on the Cape York Leadership Program at the end of grade 10. From there I was fortunate enough to go down to Brisbane and finish off at Brisbane Boys College for 11 and 12. It was a bit of a rough patch year 11 and 12 just because of family issues at the end of grade 10. So I really wasn't in the right headspace for schooling at all, to be honest. But I subconsciously, I guess, knew that it's something that I had to get done, just because it was reinforced growing up with Dad telling me stories of Nan and her hardship and what she went through for a better life for my dad and what he's done for me, and it just fell in place where I knew that this is what I had to do for myself, for my people, and then for the future generations to come. So the light bulb decision was definitely the end of grade 12. So year 11 and 12 really was not my strongest academically. I wasn't motivated, fell short in a lot of subjects, dropped subjects. I didn't even really get an OP. But heading towards the end of grade 12, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where to go. I just knew that going back to community to live wasn't for me, just because of the lifestyle and opportunities that were there were very, very limited. And just because of the constant reinforcement of opportunities that are out there and what I was capable of, I knew that I had to do something. So at the end of grade 12, I applied for JCU in Townsville again for a degree in exercise physiology, which again, through that degree, I sort of chopped and changed where I wanted to go. But then at the end of 2018, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in sport and exercise science. I really enjoyed anatomy and physiology. There were times where I questioned the lecturers in regards to how things sort of worked and further concepts in which they told me that it wasn't relevant for our degree, so it wasn't really any point in worrying about it. And I'd surrounded myself with people in health degrees and especially medicine, and I enjoyed their stories, what they have done, what they're doing, and their goals and how they're helping their own people at the moment. And I knew that that was for me because I felt quite limited in regards to how I could help my people with my sport and exercise science degree. And that's what pushed me to jump into medicine, to reach out, do more, and be more for our people. Fortunately enough, I got into university with sport and exercise science, and through there I just committed myself after taking a gap year because I just wasn't in the right mind space to study. So I took a year off. I worked several jobs at the same time, and it just became a toll, and I knew that it was easier to go back to university to work hard academically. That way I didn't have to work 3 to 4 jobs at a time. And with the hard work and dedication and the great support from CYLP and the JCU staff at the Indigenous Centre, and the constant push and drive, and even through the hard times, all the supportive talk that came through both CYLP and JCU, that helped me head down pretty much and get done what needed to be done to get into where I wanted to be. So even though I didn't get the good grades, I wasn't motivated, and and it didn't happen overnight. It did happen eventually. Some things do take time, and a lot of hard work. Every day it's just the constant, you wake up and you have those bad days where you don't want to keep going, but you remember what you're doing and why you're doing it and who you're doing it for, and you know that if you're going to go out and help your people, yourself, and the people that you admire and your role models, that you have to get this hard work done. So it's just a constant reminder. It's okay to have the bad days. Sometimes you need the bad days to realise that you can't stay in those bad moments forever, and that's sort of the medicine you need to get your motivation back, but not to stay in those bad days for too long, because it can be a poison as well. So my dream is obviously to become a doctor at the end of the next 5 years. Next 10 years, my dream, that's a great question. I'd love to be helping my people, utilising my degree in sports and exercise science and medicine. I'd love to be a surgeon, that'd be great. Maybe a cardiac surgeon, because I love obviously anatomy and physiology, and that would probably be the icing on the cake if I'd be able to work in that sort of field. But maybe even to just go back to community, open up a GP and just work with our people and helping them and that sort of thing. Being one with our people and our culture, especially in regards to medicine, knowing that a lot of the traditional medicines that were around thousands of years before, I guess, the more Western medical sort of side of it came to Australia, it was already here. And I guess having that culture behind me, and also being able to step into the Western world and utilise their medicines and how they work, it's really a gift, and I feel very privileged to be able to walk in both worlds and apply both.